Hey guys, welcome back to the channel Nate's Pink Bookshelf. My name is Nace for those of you who are new to the channel, and this video is going to be my Tome Topple Round 8 TBR. So this is going to be my first time ever partaking in Tome Topple, like ever, and I'm actually super excited to be partaking in this. I don't know, I've just been on a readathon kick ever since I did the Dewey's 24-hour readathon. So we are going to start with this, and I'm going to read some stuff off of some notes that I have real quick just because I want to give you guys the right information. So the Tome Topple is a 2-week readathon that takes place from midnight on Saturday this month, April 13th, to Friday, April 26th. So it's a 2-week readathon, and it's pretty much, the objective is to read books over 500 pages. That's pretty much it. And I think that if it's a bind-up, you really have to make sure that that one book in that bind-up is over 500 pages. The only exclusion to the bind-ups is, I think she said, graphic novels, mangas, and stuff like that. But for like actual like short stories, no, she doesn't want you to do that. But yeah, this readathon was created and hosted by Sam over at Thoughts on Toms. She has created it, but the co-hosts are going to be Adriana from Perpetual Books, Sarah Jane from The Book Life, Sean from Readers Ramble, Cass from The Little Book Owl, as well as Sam from the blog We'll Read for Boobs. So that is pretty much, you know, just read big books over 500 pages. And it sounds simple, but it's not simple. But I love that this is a 2-week readathon, so it's okay. And there are going to be 5 challenges. They're not mandatory. They're just something that she put together for people who are having a hard time picking their TBR. I have 6 books on my TBR. It's 5 plus an extra one because the last one is really not 500 pages, but I think it's like around 497 or something like that, so I'm including it anyway as like a hopeful one. So the first challenge is to read more than one tome, and obviously, you know, I have 6 on my list, so that counts. But the first book that I have here to show you guys is going to be Illuminae by Amie, Kaufman, and Kristoff. I am picking this because this one clocks in at over 600 pages, I believe, or yeah, it's over 600 pages. Let's get to it. Well, it ends at like page 599, so it's like 604 pages, I think this book is. But I'm going to be reading this. I'm also reading this as well in another readathon, which it works out perfectly because these readathons overlap. And I'm going to be listening to the audiobook as I read this book. So this is one of my books. The second challenge is to read the tome that has been on your TBR the longest. Now, surprisingly, 3 of these books have been on my TBR since 2014, but the one that was the longest is A Discovery of Witches by Deborah Harkness, and I put this on my TBR May 2014, I think. It was either April or May 2014 this was on my TBR. Actually, let me tell you guys right now. March, actually. So I added this March 2014 to my Goodreads TBR. This was the longest. It was a tie between this, Lies of Locke Lamora, as well as Sabriel. I put those all in my TBR in 2014, but this one was the first one that was there the longest. So we have A Discovery of Witches by Deborah Harkness. Can't wait to dive into this. This is adult fantasy paranormal, and I can't wait to read it because I watched the series and I loved it. So I read about this in my last TBR video, so there's no need to continue on raving about this book. This book clocks in at over 570 pages. Yep, 579. So we have this. The next challenge is to read a tome that is part of a series. And this is a series that I really, really wanted to try for a long time because I've heard a lot of people talk about this author. Some people do, some people don't, but I really just wanted to read it, and I do have a physical copy of it, so I figured why not. So it's going to be 12 Kings and Sharakhai by Bradley P. Beaulieu. I don't know the name of the series. Oh, The Song of Shattered Sands. That is the series. And I know there's like another book being released soon that I actually got an e-arc of from NetGalley. So yeah, I need to get on with this series. And yeah, I don't know much about it. I know that this is a female assassin, I think it is. They're called Blade Maidens. So yeah, that's going to be interesting. So we have this book, which I do have the audiobook to listen to as well as I read it, because I'm probably going to butcher the names because the title itself confuses me. So we have this as an option. The fourth challenge is to read a tome in a genre that you don't usually read. And for me, that is middle grade and sort of Christian fiction. Now, I read biblical fiction a lot, but I don't really stick to like the Christian fiction genre as a whole. So it's still kind of a new genre for me. So for that, I decided to go with biblical Christian fiction. And that is going to be The Robe by Lloyd C. Douglas. This is kind of like a classic among the Christian fiction genre. And yeah, I'm excited to dive into this book. This book has 508 pages. So, you know, 8 pages over 500, which is great for me. So we're going to dive into this. The fifth one is to read an adult novel. And for that, I picked The Lies of Loch Moura by Scott Lynch. I've heard a lot of people rave about it. I've been wanting to dive into the series for so long. I do have the sequel that I got from a library, so I want to get into this like ASAP. This one has a total of 722 pages. So yeah, I want to get into this ASAP. I do have the audiobook. Oh, like I said, all of these have an audiobook to go with them just to help me with the reading process to get through them. But we have this as an option. And the last book I have doesn't, like I said, it's not 500 pages, but I believe it's like 497. Yeah, no, 491. So 491 pages, and I feel like it's okay. So I'm adding it because I do want to get into this, and this is going to be a young adult fantasy, and that is Sabriel by Garth Nix. I don't know much about this. All I know is that I think there's a school that he has to go to, and it deals with magic. That's pretty much all that I know about this. So we have that as an option. I forgot to mention, but the 12 Kings in Sharakhai has 582 pages, if I'm not mistaken. So that's it for my TBR, guys. Thank you guys for watching, commenting, subscribing, and all that great stuff. If you are taking part in Tome Topple, leave your links down below to your blog posts or your videos so that I can see what you guys are going to be reading, because I am interested in reading a lot more like big fantasy novels. And I also want to try to get into like classics or like, you know, other like contemporary like big novels. But big novels kind of scare me, so we'll see. But yeah, that is it, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye!